Anyhow, so in today's video I will be doing my February wrap-up as well as a March TBR. I know guys, again, yeah, I'm 2 times in a row doing a TBR. So I read a total of 3 books in February, and slowly I'm gaining, ground on my goal for this year, which is 60 books, but I have a long way to go. And so the first book that I read in February is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. You guys know this if you watched my TBR video. And so, rereading this book, brought back all, the wonderful memories reading it the first time. And it definitely is, this made me see, it definitely is one of my favorite books. I know I say this with a lot of books, but literally every book I show you, I'm like, this is one of my favorite books. But it's so true. I think, I just have a good system going where I pick out, all these fantastic books. And so I give this book 5 out of 5 stars, and it is such an amazing storyline. I love anything, with powers, as I've said before, people having powers. And so the main character, she has the ability to control somebody's mind and make them do things that she wants them to. But she really hates this power, and she hates herself for it. And this book series has some of my most favorite characters, in all the literary world, because they all complement each other. It's just so good. She joins up with this group and they just take care of her well, and she takes care of them, and it's just awesome. And also a really good plot line because they get to use these awesome powers of theirs. And the second book that I read in February is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. So I am so glad that I actually had the second book in this series after I finished the first one. And so I actually started this also a long time ago, the first chapter, and then when I got to the second chapter it was really confusing because I didn't understand what was happening, because chapter 1 this was happening, and then chapter 2 it was she hadn't even met the characters that were in chapter 1, and it was I was so confused, and so I put it down. But when I reread it this time, I just pushed through that, and then realized, oh, okay, well, if I would have read on, they would have it was just sort of, the first chapter was present time, and then the second chapter was sort of in the past when she started to meet these characters. And so yeah, my bad on that. This book was literally as good as the first one, and I'm really surprised by that, because normally the second book in a series isn't really it doesn't compare to the first or last in the series, but it was really good. I also give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know what it is with Alexandra Bracken, but she just loves to leave us on a huge cliffhanger, and it's why must you torture us? I love it, but why? And so I can't wait to get my hands on the third one. Hopefully I'll order it in the next few weeks, because I wanna I need to know what happens, because something bad but good happened at the end of this one, and I'm just but yes, these characters in this series, these are some of my most favorite characters in the literary world. And so it was great to see how the characters from the first book interacted with new characters that were introduced in this one, and it was just such a good story. Oh my god. Okay. The third book that I read in February is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So I also, my bad habit of reading the first 80 pages and then putting the book down because some scene was kind of a little boring. And so that's what happened with this book. And so I got 80 pages in, and it was a scene where it wasn't the point of view of the main character, and it was these scientists who were studying her, and it was just kind of and so that's why I put it down. But when I picked it back up again, thanks to my friend who recommended that I retry the series because I've been hearing great things, and so yes, why didn't I finish it the first time? Okay, I could have already been caught up with the series by now. This is such a good book. I give this book 4.5 stars out of 5, and that is only because I didn't read it the first time all the way through. And also the ending, so it was a really good ending. I mean, it left us on a cliffhanger, but I like when books have some conclusion to them, even if there's a continuation to the second book. I don't know, they just need some conclusion, but it ended so abruptly and you don't know what's like gonna happen. But of course I know that like it's gonna continue in the next books, but still, I'm just like, I don't have any of the other books, so I'm left with this like cliffhanger and I'm just like, why? Why? But so yes, I have fallen in love with these characters as well, and I can't wait to finish the rest of the series. I am so excited for Cress because I love Rapunzel, but like, oh my god, yes. So on to the next portion of this video, which is my TBR for March. And so the first book that I hope to read in March, which probably I will finish like really soon, is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So I started it this morning and I'm like a chapter or so in, and it's good because like there's a lot of like space on the page and not a lot of words, so I feel like I'm gonna, you know, like finish this real soon. But so when I picked this up, like, so I've been wanting to get this for a long time, and finally like my friend got me it for Christmas, and so I haven't picked it up until now. But like as I started reading, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I wanted to read this, but like, is it gonna be super creepy and like scary? Because I am like the biggest scaredy cat in the world. Like, I get so scared so easily, and so I'm like, I hope this isn't too scary for me, but I have no idea what it's like, you know, gonna have in there. Like, I know what it's about, but okay. But as I started reading it, I was like, okay, I can handle this. Like, it's not as scary as I thought. Like, the opening, like, you know, couple pages was like, you know, creepy, but I have adjusted to it, and so I'm, you know, I'm good. So the second book I hope to read in March is Paris, Modigliani Me by Jacqueline Kolosov. Sorry if I butchered that entire thing. And so this was like a very, very impulse buy at Barnes & Noble, and I was just, you know, looking for my books that I wanted to get. Of course, they're never there. And so I saw this one on the shelf, which was like, it was the only one there, and it was like, it was meant for me because I love Paris, I love the Anna and the French Kiss books, and so I wasn't really like expecting to find another book that took place in France, but I found this, and the main character is actually like an artist. She's gonna go be a nanny in Paris for this girl, and then there's also like this like painting that's found, and they have to, you know, like see if it's real or not, and it's just like, it's, you know, it was meant for me because like I'm an artist and I love Paris, so why not? And the third book that I really want to read in March, finally, I have been putting it off for such a long time, is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. And the reason why I've been putting it off is because, like, I don't want my ship to go down. Like, Selena and Kale are my OTP, but like, I already know that there's gonna be another love interest, like a third one in the third book, Rowan, who is this person. But like, I know, like, I've seen fan art of Rowan and her and stuff, and so I'm like, okay, maybe, like, we'll see. And so like my friend's been like, you have to read it, you're gonna love him, and I'm just like, but Kale, my bae, like, okay, but, so yeah, I finally decided to read this. It's been long enough. And also I've decided to read this in March because I have my spring break at the end of this month, and this book is relatively big, so I'll have a lot of time, you know, on break to read this. And normally, you know, as I've said before, I like to read more later in the month, but this month I'm hoping to like at least get 5 books done, and so like start reading like sooner than like the last couple weeks, because, you know, every time I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done. It's like two days before the next month, and I'm like, ah, but yeah, okay. So yeah, those are the books that I hope to be reading in March, hopefully more than those 3. And so thank you guys for watching. As always, these books will be linked down below so you can go check them out. And if you've read any of these books and you want to like talk about them in the comments, feel free to do that, because I'm always up for discussing my books with people. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!